You know that feeling when you're just scrolling through your feed and you realize you're bored? It's like this trend fatigue, this sense that you've seen it all before. Well, you're definitely not alone. Today, we're going to dig into why our biggest social platforms feel so, well, stagnant, and what a really fascinating new model for the future might actually look like. All right, let's get into it.
So, that feeling we all have, it actually has a name: the social media plateau. It's this core problem where the platforms that once felt so new and revolutionary now just feel stuck in place.
And it really makes you wonder, right? I mean, in a tech world that moves at the speed of light, where apps and trends are born and die in like a matter of months, why do our main social networks feel like relics from a totally different era?
Get this, 15 plus years. That's how long platforms like Facebook and X have been dominating our screens. In the digital world, that's practically an eternity. And that kind of longevity is a huge anomaly, and maybe not for the reason you'd think.
See, their staying power isn't really about some brilliant, sustained innovation, creating genuinely new value for us. Nope, it's all about user lock-in. The cost of switching is just too high because, well, everyone we know is already there. That's the network effect in action, and it's what has led us directly to this feeling of total stagnation.
To really get why this is happening, we can actually look at the anatomy of a digital trend. Turns out, there's a pretty predictable life cycle that explains exactly where we are right now.
So, pretty much every major digital trend follows this path. It kicks off with an innovation phase. Think about early Instagram, right, with its cool, unique filters. Then comes saturation, when your grandma joins and it goes totally mainstream. And then finally, after about 7 years or so, you hit the stagnation phase. And that's exactly where the model for today's social media giants is firmly planted.
And here's the key thing that happens during that stagnation phase. The platform's goals do a complete 180. The focus shifts away from making your experience better and lands almost entirely on monetization. Everything starts getting optimized for advertisers, not for you.
But the problem actually goes even deeper than that. It's baked right into the fundamental design of these platforms. This whole idea of one single feed trying to be everything to all the different versions of ourselves.
Just think about it for a second. You're not just one person online, are you? You've got your professional self for networking, your hobbyist self who totally geeks out about niche interests, you're a family member, you're a friend, and these giant monolithic platforms try to cram all of those different identities into one single messy space.
This whole situation leads to a phenomenon called context collapse. You know that feeling. It's that super awkward moment when your boss sees your vacation photos, or your aunt sees that weird meme you posted about a niche video game. It's the friction you feel when all your different worlds are forced to collide in one place.
And this quote really sums it up perfectly. We've basically hit the limits of what this one-size-fits-all model can do. So, if this old way is ending, what in the world comes next?
All right, so where do we go from here? Well, the answer might just lie in a brand new concept called SNaaS, and it represents a completely different way of thinking about what an online community can even be.
But here's the twist. This solution isn't just another social media app trying to compete with the big guys. It's not about building a better Facebook. It's a fundamental shift in the very foundation itself. It's all about empowering people to build their own spaces.
So this is SNaaS, Social Networks as a Service. The best way to think about it is like a toolkit, almost like a set of digital Legos that lets anyone, a book club, a group of software developers, a neighborhood association, create their own purpose-built social network, like instantly. And you don't have to be a tech genius to do it.
And what this all points to is a future that isn't about one giant global town square anymore. Instead, it's about thousands of small, specialized, and really thriving niche communities.
This whole model is built on 4 key pillars. First up, modular components. This lets a community pick and choose only the features it actually needs. So a book club doesn't need a live streaming function, right? Next, full customization. Lets a group shape its own unique identity and build real trust. Then there's portable data ownership, and this one is huge. It puts you back in control of your own information, giving you freedom and security. And finally, distributed moderation, which means the rules are set by the community for the community. That makes them way more relevant and effective. So the real magic here is that we move away from all the feature bloat we see on the big platforms. Instead of a dozen tools you never use just cluttering up the experience, you get a clean, focused space that's designed for one specific purpose.
And this completely flips the script on what success even means for a network. It's no longer about the race to 1 billion users. The new and much more important metric is the depth of engagement, the actual quality of the connection within a community, whether it has 50 members or 50,000.
So, when you put it all together, the ultimate vision here is to break up these huge monopolies and instead foster a healthier, more diverse internet, really an entire ecosystem of thousands of specialized digital spaces, each one thriving on its own terms.
And that just leaves us with one last thought. In a future where building your own social space is as easy as starting a blog, the possibilities are just endless. So I'll ask you, if you could build the perfect community, what would it be for?